Welcome to Tech Bites with Dan Hafner, your gateway to the future of innovation and technology. Dive into the exciting world of software where cutting-edge tech meets creativity. Explore no-code solutions that empower businesses to thrive without traditional barriers. Hear inspiring stories from tech pioneers and industry leaders who are changing the game. Join us on Tech Bites and transform the way you think about technology and business.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the show. My name is Dan Hafner. It's been a little while. We took a week off or so. I am back. I'm ready to rock and roll. I'm back from vacation. I was saying I might do a couple episodes while I was out there, and let's be honest, that didn't work out. I was at the beach. And got a lot of things going on. I was at the beach, so if you're watching on video, it's why my hair is super messy. I forgot to get my hair cut before I went there, and now it's super long and even more gray. Vacation doesn't heal gray hairs, unfortunately. And today's my birthday, so I'm very excited to come back to the show on my birthday. I'm 35 years old today. Jeez, oh man, I feel really weird. I was going to put out a post today on 35 things I've learned in my 35 years. So I'm still working on putting that out later today. Be very interesting. If you want to, you can follow me on Facebook and I'll have that on there. I might put it on LinkedIn as well. But that aside, guys, we got some interesting stuff. OpenAI finally released ChatGPT-5. That's been some interesting stuff going on with that. There was a little bit of drama with it. There was some craziness with it. There is some really interesting employment shifts going on with AI, as we've covered on the show. A couple stories there. Some underemployment and unemployment going on. Overemployment and unemployment going on. And then there's a really interesting story I want to talk about this AI. It's like Netflix for AI. And it's got Hollywood kind of a little bit scared around things. So I'm super intrigued in this. So I'm going to share my thoughts with this. It's basically like a Netflix for AI. You can build your own AI-based content and shows to actually watch and consume and put out there. So I'm actually really excited to try this out and kind of check it out. But anyway, those are the stories we're going to cover. And then I have another extra one if we have time. But as always, this is the Today in Tech show. Part of the Tech Bites podcast. And if you guys get value or enjoyed this show at all, please share it with someone, subscribe to the show, leave us a rating and review. That really helps the show grow. So let's get into today's first story, which is obviously the release of ChatGPT-5. So let me pull this up here and we'll read through this story. All right. OpenAI releases GPT-5 chatbot to 700 million users. That's wild. OpenAI released ChatGPT-5, its most advanced AI model yet, promising expert-level abilities across coding, writing, and more, with the user base nearing 700 million. CEO Sam Altman described GPT-5 as a significant step towards AGI, or artificial general intelligence, highlighting its PhD-level intelligence, improved reasoning, and reduced hallucinations compared to previous versions. The model introduces a new system that adaptively chooses how long to process prompts, aiming to balance speed and accuracy without requiring users to pick different models. Despite these advancements, some users expressed disappointment with GPT-5's performance, particularly in coding tasks. Where have we heard that before? Leading to requests for the return of the prior GPT-4o model. OpenAI has responded with updates to address these concerns while emphasizing the long-term trajectory towards more capable AI. Industry leaders view GPT-5's release as a major milestone in the accelerating AI race involving companies like Amazon, Google, Meta, Microsoft, and Elon Musk's AI. Very interesting. Yeah. So I guess what went down with a lot of this was people were kind of testing it out. Again, I was out of office last week, so I've got to play with it a little bit. I haven't really seen. It looks to be a little bit better, obviously, from everything I've experienced. I have not dove in that deep into the new GPT-5, so I don't have a lot of opinions one way or the other with this. Um, but man, I mean, when you have a platform as popular as ChatGPT, you have to expect that when you release some shit that doesn't work, or you're gonna get flack no matter what you do. So I feel for Sam Altman, honestly, in that regard. But that's part of this game. That's part of what comes with this territory, is that when you're releasing stuff and you're trying to push forward on this, like, you're going to get some flack, you're going to get some pushback, you're going to get people that are really pissed off about some stuff, and that's just part of the game. You have to deal with it. Now, that being said, I mean, I'm very interested to see what this does in terms of this. I've heard a lot about this AGI, this artificial general intelligence, which is basically um, AI thinking for itself and being able to reason by itself and grow by itself, and grow like a human being would, right? Like, actually learn languages, learn different things, be able to move in space and time and all this stuff. Um, I mean, everyone says we're closer than we think. I tend to still be a skeptic about all that stuff. But I'm interested on your guys' thoughts. Have you used GPT-5 yet? What are your thoughts on it? It's very interesting that it said it actually was lacking in some coding tasks, which it's funny. I think, like, that's like kind of one of the biggest races that people are kind of undergoing. Like, there's another big Lovable update. We've talked about that product on this show before. And they've just released a big update, which seems to have fixed a lot of different things. But they're also flush with cash and growing like crazy too, so you can actually do things like that very quickly. So this stuff is moving at lightning breakneck speed. Everyone was kind of wondering what GPT-5 was going to be. I'll be interested to see. It's kind of like a breaking news story, right? Like, you hear about I'm going to use a very morbid example, but you hear like a shooting story, right? Like, hey, there's a shooting over here, something happened, the gunman's on the loose, whatever. There's a lot of, like, over time, you've seen that there's a lot of misinformation early, because the idea is to be first to report the story, first to report the things. And I think there's been kind of a pullback on that a little bit, but there is still a tendency to put out information fast as they get it. And then obviously it's kind of like when you're in like a rumor mill. It's like a game of telephone. Oh, we heard this, we're hearing this, we're hearing that. And it might not be verified or accurate in when you look back on it after the fact, and after the facts are kind of, the timelines put together, like, oh, actually that was incorrectly reported information. And that's kind of what's going on with a lot of these AI models. They're building these things so freaking fast and putting stuff out so fast that a lot of it, maybe there are bugs that are missed, or there are things that are not fully developed in the way that they would be if you were the only name in the game. But that's the whole thing about capitalism, is it's first quality product to market wins the game. Like, first to market wins. So you have to expect bugs, you have to expect issues, you have to expect people bitching about stuff. You just have to expect that. And I think that's just all part of the game. But I'm interested to see what it'll be like a few months from now, early next year, as 2026 comes along. It's easy to jump to conclusions very, very fast. But I think a lot of the world doesn't really dive super deep into a lot of these things, so it doesn't really matter in terms of like the nitpicking things between the models and all this kind of stuff. Like, the average person just kind of goes on and uses ChatGPT, in ways that aren't super, super, super advanced anyway. So very, very interesting release of a product there. All right, let's go to the next story, which is going to shift topics, and I want to dive into this one. This is super interesting. So, could you imagine? Okay, you can't find Netflix. How many times have you sat there on Netflix and been like, "Hey, what are we going to watch? What are we going to do?" I'm married, so like we always have this problem, right? Man, imagine this. Imagine you can't find anything you want to watch, and you pull up Showrunner, and then you say, "Hey, show me a movie, 90-minute movie, feature-length movie about a startup entrepreneur who was down on their luck, getting evicted, losing their family, had this crazy awesome idea through this vibe coding tool, launched it, and within 6 months was a multi-millionaire. I want to see that movie." Boom. That can create it. They've made a tool that can do this, guys. This is, I don't know why, this is so interesting to me. And let's just dive into the story. I'll read it for you here. So Amazon-backed AI showrunner launches sparks Hollywood debate. The entertainment industry is seeing a significant shift with the integration of AI technologies in content creation. Netflix has begun using generative AI to produce complex visual effects, such as a building collapse scene in the sci-fi series El Internauta. Sorry if I said that wrong, speeding up production and reducing costs while maintaining quality. Meanwhile, Amazon has invested in Fable, a startup behind Showrunner, an AI powered platform that enables users to generate animated TV episodes from simple text prompts, positioning itself as the Netflix of AI. That is freaking awesome. Showrunner has sparked controversy among filmmakers and educators who fear it undermines traditional storytelling and creativity, arguing that AI generated content may lack the human touch essential to filmmaking. I get that. Some industry professionals, however, acknowledge AI's potential to augment rather than replace human creativity. Discussions are ongoing about intellectual property implications and the role of AI tools in the future of entertainment production. That's a very good point. Like, who owns that IP? Do you actually own that show or do you not? But man, guys, how freaking cool is that? That you can literally create your own show based on your imagination, something you want to see. Like, dude, I don't know why, but this like excites me. I have not got a chance to try this, but I'm gonna actually try this and maybe give you guys a report on the next episode here coming up Friday. I really want to try this. Apparently, they've released it in beta. They have like 20,000 some people using this, maybe even more at this point. Um, man, dude, could you imagine, like, you could start a YouTube channel, you could produce a show, and take it any direction you wanted, right? Like, well, I hope that the app has this ability to be able to maybe say, give me the first 3 pilot episodes of this idea for this TV series I want to say, and then you get through the end of it. You can, like, you remember alternate endings in different movies and shows and stuff like that? I mean, what if they went back and redid the ending of Game of Thrones using this? Like, you know what I mean? I mean, dude, you could take this any direction you want. You could take a show in a direction that you want to go. It's like software development, but for TV shows. Like, you could say, hey, I want to go this direction. I don't like where that's going. Let's pull those back, delete those episodes. Let's go back down this direction. Okay, I like where this is going. Let's now take a left-hand turn here. Let's go up the hill over here. Dude, this is wild. And I don't really care about the Hollywood stuff. Like, I could give a shit whether actors think, they're, I mean, I remember this was a big thing when the music industry was like, when there was downloadable songs, like, how are we going to monetize this? How are we going to, if people can just download stuff for free, how are we ever going to make money selling albums and all this kind of stuff? And I mean, honestly, I could really give a shit about that, to be very frank and to be very blunt with you guys, because they'll figure it out. Like they'll figure out a way to make their money. You know what I mean? Like, just because you can download songs off the internet anymore doesn't mean that entertainers don't make money. Like, they don't, or they figure it out. They figure out a way, and there will be a way. So I could really care less about that conversation. What I'm really interested to see is who leverages this first. Who is the first to market to say, I'm going to take this tool and I'm going to make the next kids hit TV show, or I'm going to make the next hit animated TV series that could actually be released on a platform like Disney Plus or Netflix or something like that, or even on your own YouTube channel, and blow up and actually go crazy. Like, dude, that's insane. I'm really excited to try this tool. So I'm gonna sign up for it, and I'm gonna give you guys a report back. When I maybe hopefully by Friday. We'll see how long it goes. I don't even know if you can, like, actually access this outside of beta or anything like that right now. But I don't know. Let's do this. Let's Google this. Showrunner AI app. Here, let me share my screen so you guys can see. I'm very curious to see like what this can actually do. Showrunner, create animated shows and scenes. Showrunner.xyz. This has to be, what does Google say? Showrunner launched to the public on July 30th, 2025 with free access for early users. Paid plans expected later will cost between $10 and $40 per month for scene and generation credits. Okay, so that's how they make their money. Wow. Very interesting. So if I come in here, the future of film and TV production will be agile. Do not click this button. That's interesting. Man, this is pretty crazy. There's some YouTube videos that show like kind of what it does. We're on a mission to empower film crews to do amazing work and to get home in time for dinner. Wow. This is really cool. Really, really cool. So yeah, I'm gonna test this out, see what I can do with it right now. I got to make sure it's the right one because it looked like there was multiple different like, spam accounts of whatever it was. But man, I'm interested to see what you guys think about that. All right. Let's go back to our good friend Sam Altman, and he has some interesting things to say about Gen Z. Are you guys Gen Z? You guys listen to this? Are you Gen Z? I'm interested to hear what you guys have to say about this. So OpenAI CEO Sam Altman says Gen Z is the luckiest generation amid AI job disruption. What have we been talking about? We've been talking about how it's unlucky. Interesting. Let's hear what he has to say. OpenAI CEO Sam Altman expressed optimism about the future prospects for young people entering the workforce amid rapid AI advancements, describing Generation Z as the luckiest kids in all of history. While acknowledging that AI could replace nearly half of entry-level white-collar jobs within 5 years, Altman believes younger workers are better equipped to adapt, reskill, and leverage powerful AI tools like GPT-5 to create innovative products and companies. He cautioned, however, that older workers, particularly those around 62 years old, specific number, face greater challenges in adjusting to these changes if they resist retraining. Altman envisions entirely new and exciting career paths emerging, including roles in space exploration and other fields currently unimaginable. Despite concerns about job displacement, he emphasized society's historical resilience to technological disruptions and the potential for new, well-paid, meaningful jobs to arise. It's a very good point. Contrasting views such as warnings about societal disruption and middle-class decline due to AI highlight ongoing debates about the broader impact of AI on the workforce. So, I mean, I guess it's pretty a given that someone who is the CEO of like that company would be casting a positive light to say, hey, no, it's going to be okay. I know AI is going to replace about half of your jobs by in the next 5 years, but it's going to be okay. So it's like, okay, take that with a grain of salt. But there's a very good point there. I mean, think about the Industrial Revolution. Like everyone back in the agrarian society worked, as farmers, as gatherers, as a feudal society, as all this type barter, trade, all this stuff. Here comes the Industrial Revolution, and oh my gosh, the horse is no longer needed. We don't need the horse, or we don't need these types of things. Hey, the car comes along. Wow, there's a huge shift in things. But look what the invention of the car created: tons and tons of jobs, an entire economy in and of itself that's absolutely massive, and it's a global thing now. Just because we invented planes doesn't mean we don't still need cars, right? Just because we invented cars doesn't mean we didn't need trains anymore, right? To just repurpose and use differently. So I can see where he's going with this, and this kind of leads me into this extra story that I'm going to share with this, because there's this story about mass tech layoffs and these computer science graduates being unemployed. So I'm going to lead into that with this story. It's why I said this story first. But no, I think human capital will always be a thing. Even if there would be a massive jump forward in AI capability and it replaced all of our jobs and we're all just shit out of luck in terms of employment, for the right person, there's still going to be opportunities to think critically, to think futuristically, and to say, hey, there's problems in society still that need solved, And we can now leverage this technology that's built to then build products and use capitalism to its best, to the best of its abilities and what it's naturally made to do. But I think there will be massive companies that need tons and tons of employees that will pay very, very well. Look at Amazon, for example. Um, you watch any kind of futuristic sci-fi movie, and I think I watched recently. I'm very late to this party, but I watched Pacific Rim recently. And you think about like all those giant, things that they made to fight all these monsters and whatever. I mean, how many jobs are needed for things like that? How many jobs are we talking about with the AI infrastructure stuff that's coming to like states like mine in Pennsylvania and all these different things? Like there's tons and tons and tons of jobs. So I think it's not just like, yeah, AI might replace some of these jobs, but then those people who are replaced are now able to move up into a way, if you so choose to, into maybe a better opportunity or just an entirely different shift into something. So, I think it comes down to being willing to adapt, being willing to be retrained on things. Like I'm going through this right now with software development. Like I was thinking about that this morning around, the more I see these tools come around, I saw a guy do a video on, we've been talking about our AI app builder and all these other things that we have. And I watched a guy take a product like Claude, right? And basically said, build a clone of Lovable, an AI app builder that AI built, right? I mean, I remember looking into this years ago, and I had partnered with somebody, and we were thinking about doing I wanted to build our own app building project, like own software, everything like that. Because a lot of what we do at Dapper No Code is white label things and use different platforms and all this kind of stuff. Finally have our own one that I'm like working on now with the use of AI. But before, I mean, there were people quoting me again, like millions and millions of dollars to build this kind of thing and a team and all this different stuff. And that was just out of the question. But now AI has really brought it to be like, wow, like we could actually build something that's very interesting. And I know that it doesn't always build the coolest things, as I've talked about before. But again, that's what I'm trying to get at is use your mind, use your idea. It doesn't even have to just be starting a product or building a software. Like, how can you approach getting a job in this industry as a startup, as a business model, right? I think that's very, very, it's worth thinking about. And if you're in that position, if you are Gen Z, like think about how you can repurpose and retool yourself to be, you have to skate where the puck's going to be, right? You have to skate where it's going to be, not where it is. So anyway, very interesting story. And that leads me into this last one here about these, basically this idea or this phenomenon going on of underemployment. So I said that first story to say this one, right? Mass tech layoffs, AI drive computer science grad unemployment. There's a picture here of this girl working at Chipotle as a new CS grad. Interesting. The job market for recent computer science graduates in 2024 has dramatically shifted, with many facing high unemployment and difficulty finding tech roles due to widespread layoffs at major companies like Amazon, Microsoft, Meta, and Intel, coupled with AI tools that automate coding tasks. Manasi Mishra, a Purdue University graduate, exemplifies this trend, having received no tech job offers despite her qualifications, only an interview from Chipotle, highlighting the stark contrast from previous promises of six-figure salaries and job security. The unemployment rates for recent computer science and engineering graduates stand at 6.1 and 7.5% respectively, more than double those for other majors like biology or art history. What? Wait. Like, let me reread this. The unemployment rates for recent computer science and engineering graduates is higher than art history? Get the hell out of here. That's wild. Experts warn that AI could eliminate half of all entry-level white-collar jobs in the next 1 to 5 years, undermining the long-held belief that coding skills guarantee a lucrative career. Well, if you build some cool shit, yeah, it does. This paradigm shift has led many new graduates to seek work outside of tech, some turning to service industry jobs while continuing to search for opportunities. The surge in computer science education over the past decade, driven by encouragement from tech leaders and presidents, is now contrasted by a shrinking job market and increased competition from AI programming assistants. I mean, listen, I'll be the first to admit, like, there was a phase in my life when I was starting up my business that, yeah, I did do some things in the service-based industry, mostly gig work. Drove Uber, delivered for DoorDash, did Grubhub, Lyft, those types of things, as I was getting things off the ground to help supplement, money that was being lost due to quitting a job. I will say there was even a time where I actually went back after I'd started my business and I was like, I need a job because this ain't really working out too well. And I never held, I didn't hear back from people. I mean, this was 4 or 5 years ago when I was first starting out. And I kind of told myself, well, maybe it's because I own a business. They don't want why would a business owner be looking for a job? They clearly can't run their business very well. Right. But maybe there was a part of it that there just wasn't a good market even back then. So I feel for these people. I really do, because I'm a millennial. I'm of the same generation that was like told, hey, go get a good degree, get a good job, make good money, and then go and live your life and be happy and pay off this debt. No, I think that's, I mean, is computer science and engineering still a good field to get into if you were going into college this year? I would say so, yeah. But you have to stop thinking in that fixed mindset of, I'm going to go to this school, pay this money, and then get this job and everything will work out. You have to think in terms of, I need soft skills. I need communication skills. I need leadership skills. I need critical thinking skills. I need to level myself up so that in this flooded market where there's way more available workers than there are available jobs, what the hell makes me stand out? What makes me different? We have this with a business every single day. I'm flooded with Facebook ads all the time of businesses just like mine who are doing the same exact thing. How do we stand out? How do we differentiate, right? That's something I battle with all the time. It's no different in the job market. What makes you different? What makes you stand out? What makes you think, if I were to go to you, if you're listening to this and you're unemployed, what makes me as a business owner attracted to you as an employee? Not in a weird way, like the whole Coldplay concert thing. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about value attraction. I'm talking about what makes you different than the other 40 different resumes that I got that applied for the same role. Right? It's going to be, if you can still do the job, if you can still do the tasks that I need done, what makes, I need someone to go be proactive. I need someone to do, everyone has this idea of I earned this degree. I want to go make this money and just show up to work and provide this, do this job and get paid very well for it. As a business owner, I'm telling you, that is not the approach we want. We want someone who is being willing to work late, willing to go above and beyond, willing to do the extra work when you start out. It is noticed. It is rewarded. Hard work always pays off in this world. I don't care what anyone says. I don't care what the Sam Altman says. I don't care what Elon Musk says. I don't care what anyone says. Hard work will pay off for you. And you have to be willing to do it. You have to be willing to roll up your sleeves, get a little dirty, work late. I mean, when I was in sales, I worked very, very late. I got there early. I mean, in my own business, I got to work weekends sometimes. I got to work evenings. I got to, we have meetings at 9:00 tomorrow night. Like, you got to do what you got to do. And I think a lot of people are in this mindset of just like, well, I just want this. If I can make $100,000 a year, show up at 9, leave at 5 every day, and just kind of like do my thing. Yeah, sure, that's a cushy gig. That's great. But, you're also very disposable. It makes you very easy to be like, well, you're going to get laid off. Okay, bye. Like, you know what I mean? What extra value do you have to get in there? Like, when I think about, when we have clients that come in, the idea with SaaS, the idea with something like that, and it sounds weird. It's going to sound like kind of gross, but, how can you dig your claws into that client? How can you embed yourself into that client or into that company? So if they were to rip you out, it would actually kill them. It would actually not be useful, right? That's why we have tools like Launchpad. Like, I'll put up right here. Like, this is why we have tools like Launchpad, because once you start this and you build it and you build your business on this, it's something that you keep doing, and it's something that keeps allowing us to build and allowing us to give value. And this is capitalism, right? By the way, you can go to launchpadproject.net. You can find out more about this. But that's how, like, okay, I know that because you have your business based on our software, it's very painful for you to leave that and to cancel that monthly subscription, because you're going to have to go rebuild it all. It's easier. It's an easier pill to swallow to just stay there and bite the bullet and pay us, right? That's the beauty of SaaS. You can create that too. Go on Lovable, go on Gerald.ai, go on all of our tools and just build shit and get people to subscribe to it and get that so it's embedded in what they do. And if you're looking for a job, how can you get embedded into committees, into operations, into projects that are integral for that company to succeed? Because when it comes time for layoffs, you're not going to be disposable, right? And then when it comes to getting hired, I mean, I've been out of this getting hired game for a while, but coming from someone who runs a business, how can you position yourself to say, I will be so embedded in what you do. I'll take this on, I'll take that on, I'll take this on. Great. Be willing to go down on your price a little bit. And then you have so much more room to negotiate for a raise 6 months in, a year in, once you've shown the value that you've created for this company. And it's a no-brainer, right? Start looking at yourself like a business. Start looking at yourself like an asset that can be utilized, that can be leveraged, and that can actually produce results for a company. And you'll have an easier time finding a job. I really believe that. And it might not be for your dream company right away. It might be for a smaller company like mine, or like, a medium-sized company or whatever. But that's my advice. That's my little lecture spiel on that whole topic of that. So anyway, that is about what time we're at. A little over 30 minutes. Awesome. So this was great being back with you guys. Really appreciated the show. Really appreciated the content. Love being back here. Thank you for coming back and listening after the week off. I know sometimes in podcasting, on YouTube, and when you take a week off, sometimes it's hard to retain audience. So I appreciate any of you coming back and listening. So I'm interested on your thoughts on this. What are your thoughts on GPT-5? What are your thoughts if you're a Gen Z, or you're like on this whole overemployment, unemployment thing? And I'm interested on your thoughts on the Showrunner stuff. What do you guys think about that? Do you think it's cool? Do you think it's weird? Am I just nerding out on this for no reason, or what? But anyways, that is all for today's show. I really appreciate all of you joining. Please be sure to subscribe and like the show and the channel, and share it with anyone you think might find value from it. I'll see you guys Friday. Hope we'll give you a report on the Showrunner app, and we'll talk to you guys then. See ya.
Thanks for tuning in to Tech Bites, your go-to show for software business and technology. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button to stay updated with our latest episodes, insights, and stories. Hungry for more? Dive deeper into the world of no-code by visiting dapnacode.com. Your journey to building amazing software without coding skills starts there. Connect with like-minded creators and unlock a world of resources tailored just for you. Subscribe now. Explore Dapper No Code.